Hi everyone, welcome to the session of CMC, Cellular Mobile Communication. So in previous class, we have seen that what is meant by cell coverage. So that means cell coverage means it indicates the signal coverage throughout the cell. So it includes mainly the signal coverage as well as the traffic coverage. And normally, in order to find out the signal coverage at any area, first we have to find out the model. That model is also known as point-to-point model or prediction model. So based on that model, we can find out the signal coverage throughout the cell. So before going to find out the Lee model or point-to-point model can also be called as Lee model. So before going to find out the Lee model, just we have to know the area. That means we have two types of areas mainly. One is human-made structures, another one is natural terrains. So what are that means we have some open areas, suburban areas, and as well as flat terrain, hilly terrains. So depending on the area, the signal coverage may also differ. So that means before going to know or before going to find out the point-to-point model, first we have to find out the area. That means whether it is a human-made structure or it is a natural terrain. So after that, we can find out the remaining data also by using that model. And in previous class, we have already discussed about what is meant by ground instant angle and ground elevation angle in the flat terrain as well as in hilly terrain. So that means if the mobile unit moves in a flat, that means if it is a flat terrain or if it is a hilly terrain, then what is the elevation angle, what is the instant angle, what is the reflection angle, what is the reflection point. So these are all data. We have some formula. So we have already seen in previous class. So now in this class, we will discuss about what is meant by Lee model or point-to-point model, how we can find out the Lee model, and what is the effect of signals by the human-made structures. So these topics we will cover in this class. So first one is mobile point-to-point propagation, or we can also call it as Lee model. So in general, the Lee model or point-to-point model can be obtained by using 3 steps. So we have 3 steps to find out the Lee model or to obtain the Lee model. First one is generate a standard condition. First one is we have to generate some standard condition. And next step is obtain area to area prediction model. Obtain area to area prediction model. After that, this model, that means area to area prediction model, will be converted into a point to point model. Okay. So third step is obtain point to point model using area to area prediction model. So first we have to generate a standard condition. Next, obtain the area to area model or prediction model, and by using this model, then find out the point to point. Okay. So why we are using this model? What is the purpose of using Lee model means? First, in order to find out the signal coverage, our main aim is finding the signal coverage throughout the cell. So before finding the signal coverage, we have to find out the area. That means the purpose of developing this model is try to separate the two effects. That means whether it is a human-made structure or it is a natural terrain contour. So depending on that area, we can find out the signal coverage. Okay. So first of all, we should separate the two effects. First one is human-made structure. Second one is natural terrain contour. In human-made structure, we can have some open area, suburban area, or urban area. In terrain contour, we may have some flat terrain, we may have some hilly terrain, we may have some water over water area, and we have some forest area. So depending on that area, we can have some difference in signal coverage. Okay. So first, before going to find out the model, we should separate these two effects. Okay. In order to separate these two effects, that means human-made structures as well as natural terrain contour, this model is used. First step is standard condition. That means in order to find out the point-to-point model or Lee model, first we have to generate the standard condition. To generate the standard condition, the transmitted power of the transmitted power at the end antenna and antenna height at the base station and antenna height at the mobile unit should satisfy the following requirements. So to generate a standard condition to obtain the Lee model, first the data, that means the transmitted power at the cell or at the antenna, or antenna height at the base station, or antenna height at the mobile unit must satisfy these conditions or these requirements. So first one is at the base station, the antenna, that means the transmitted power at the antenna must be 10 volts or 40 dBm, and antenna height must be 100 feet or 30 meters, and antenna gain must be 6 dB per dipole. And similarly at the base station, antenna height must be 10 feet or 3 meters, and antenna gain must be 0 dB per dipole. So these are all data which the transmitted power and antenna height of the base station and antenna height of the mobile unit must satisfy to go to the Lee model, okay, with some corrections. So by if our data, that means if our data is valid, then we can develop the Lee model. That means if transmitted power is in the range and antenna height is in the range and antenna height at the mobile unit is in the range, then we can easily generate the standard condition by using all these data. So next, second rule is obtain area to area prediction model. Obtain area to area prediction model for human made structures. So in area to area prediction model, all the areas are considered as flat areas, even those areas are not flat. That means even though the data may be received from non-flat area, we are considering that data must be from flat area. So to obtain the area to area model, here our assumption is that area is a flat area. In order to find out the area to area model from the human made structures, that means we are focusing on the area to area prediction model by the human made structures. Okay, so in that condition, let us assume the area is flat area. So even the data comes from the non-flat area, we are considering it as a flat area. So then only we can find out the area to area prediction model by the human made structure. And after finding the area to area prediction model, then we can find out this prediction model to point model. Okay. So first, by satisfying all these data, we can generate some standard condition. Second condition is obtain the area to area model by assuming that the area is a flat area, and then we can convert this model, area to area model, prediction model, into a point to point model. Okay, so that is about the general introduction of Lee model. Okay, this is about Lee model. Second one is effects of human made structures. What is the signal loss when we have some human made structures? Okay, it indicates what is the signal loss or what is the signal coverage when we have some human made structures in that area. Okay, so how we can find out the signal coverage when we have some human made structures? Okay, so here because the terrain contour configuration in each city is different, as well as human made structure of each city is also unique. It is also, that means we have at some area we have some human made structures, at some area we have some different human made structures. That means at each area the structure is different, that is unique. Okay, so we have to find a way to separate these two effects. So already we know, in order to find out the point to point model, first we should separate the two effects. First we should separate two effects, that is from the terrain contour we should separate the effect of human made structures. So to find out the signal coverage by the human made structures or in the area of human made structures, we have to separate the effect of human made structures from the effect of terrain contour. Okay, so since the terrain contour or terrain configuration of each city is different, that means we have some hilly area, we have some flat area, we have some forest area, and as well as human made structures, or we have some open area, we have some suburban area, we have some urban area. So human made structures are also unique, terrain contour are also different. So first we have to separate these two areas. So how we can separate these two areas means, so by the use of path loss curve. By the use of path loss curve, we can separate these two areas. Okay. So to obtain that path loss curve for the area, we are considering that area is a flat area, even if it is not. So here our focus is finding the signal coverage due to human-made structures only. So to find out the effect or to find out the signal coverage in the human-made structures or in that areas, our assumption is the area is a flat area. Even though that area is not flat, we are considering that is a flat area. Okay. So by considering that is a flat area, we can get some data, and by that data, we can get some path loss curve. Okay. So the path loss curve obtained on a flat ground indicates the effect of the signal loss due to human-made structures only. So when we are finding the path loss by considering the flat terrain, we can find out the signal loss. We can find out the signal loss due to human-made structures only. Due to human-made structures only. Okay. And next, to do this, we may have to measure the signal strength at those high spots and as well as low spots surrounding the cell cells. So how we can find out the path loss or path loss curve? Okay. So to find out the path loss curve, already we know path loss curve is the curve that represents the signal coverage due to human-made structures. Okay. So to find out the path loss curve, here we have to, that means we may have to measure the signal strength at high spots and at low spots. High spots means the spots, that means the area at which the signal is high. Low spots means the area at which the signal strength is low. Okay. So first, to find out the path loss curve, measure the signal coverage or signal strength at high spots and signal strength at low spots surrounding the cell site, surrounding at that particular cell site. Then the average path loss slope, which is a combination of all these spots, all these high spots and low spots at different areas, represents the signal received if it is from flat area only by different human-made structures. Okay. So here, just we are finding or we are measuring the signal strength at high spots and at low spots. After finding the signal strength at high spots and low spots, then we are taking the average. We are taking the average values of those high spots and low spots, and that average path loss slope gives or represents the signal received by the human-made structures only, and we are considering that is a flat area. Okay. So here this figure represents the effect of human-made structure, and let us consider here we have some area, and this is 1 mile intercept. 1 mile intercept means it represents the that means what is the signal strength, what is the transmitted power from the antenna at that spot. That means at this position. Okay. This is 1 mile intercept, 2 mile, 5 mile, 10 mile intercept. Okay. So this is our area, and at 1 mile intercept, that is first, at the first circle, we have some high spots and we have some low spots. H means high spot, L means low spot. Okay, and as well as 5 miles and at 10 miles. So at every one mile, we have some high spots. That means we can have some signal coverage high at some position, and at some position we can have some low signal. So these high spots and low spots represents those areas. Okay, so we are using 1 mile intercepts as a starting point for obtaining the path loss curve. So our main aim is path loss curve. Okay, by the use of path loss curve, we can find out the signal coverage at that area. So first we are using 1 mile intercept. 1 mile intercept means 1 kilometer intercept. That means from the cell site, this is at a distance of 1 kilometer. So that is 1 mile. So therefore, the differences in area to area prediction curves are due to the different man-made structures. So the man-made structure is different. At different areas, we can have some different man-made structures, and as well as a path loss curve is also different. Area to area prediction model curve is also different. So we should realize that measurements made in urban areas are different from suburban areas or open areas. So the measurements which we are taking at urban area is different from the measurements which you are taking in suburban area or open area. Okay. So that means the area to area prediction model is different in different areas. So, and it is obtained from the average value of measured data. So, by the taking the low spots and high spots, this is 1 mile intercept, this is 5 mile intercept, and this is 10 mile intercept. So, at 1 mile intercept, we have some high spots, we have some low spots. And 5 mile, at 5 mile, we have high spots and low spots. At 10 mile, we have some high spots and low spots. So, at 1 mile, we are taking the average. We are taking average value of all these data, of all these measured data. And similarly, at 5 mile also, we are taking the average. And at 10 mile also, we are taking the average. And by taking all those average values, we can draw the path loss curve. This is the path loss curve. Okay. So at every mile, we are taking some low spots and high spots signal strength. That means which represents the signal strength. And by averaging all these, by taking the mean value, that is the average of all these high spots and low spots, we can have some point at 1 mile, at as well as 5 mile, at 10 mile. By joining all these points, we can have some path loss. This is the path loss at this area, at this area. Okay. So any area to area prediction model can be used as first to find out the point to point. We know to find out the point to point model, first we have to find out the area to area prediction model. That means at that particular area, what is the signal strength? Okay. So normally area to area model represented by two parameters. Area to area model, that is this model represents represented by two parameters. First one is 1 mile intercept point. Second one is path loss width. So if you observe the figure, we have 1 mile intercept. That is the starting point. 1 mile at every 1 mile intercept, we are taking the data. That means high spots and low spots. So it includes, or it is represented by two parameters. Area to area prediction model represented by two parameters. First one, 1 mile intercept. That is 1 kilometer intercept point. Second one, path loss width. So 1 mile intercept means the power received at a distance of 1 mile from the transmitter. Okay. What is the power? What is the signal strength after 1 kilometer? That represents 1 mile intercept. Okay. So to find out this 1 mile intercept point, we are following these two parameters. There are two general approaches to finding the two parameters experimentally. So to draw the area to area model, we have to find 1 mile intercept point, and as by the use of all these 1 mile intercept points, we can draw some path loss. So how we can draw this graph? How we can draw this graph? How we can find out all these points? So that means first compare an area of interest with an area of similar human made structures which presents a curve such as the term. So if you have some area and compare our area of interest, that means our area, with an area similar to human made structure which presents a curve as shown in this figure. So normally we have the figure. This figure represents the path loss curves in different cities, that is in different areas. And these curves are all represents the effects of human made structures only. That means there is no effect of terrain contour. And here we are assuming the terrain contour is flat. Okay. So these are all curves represents the path loss curve curves at different cities. So if we have some area and our area is that means I want to find out the signal strength in my area. Okay. So and at that condition, compare an area of interest, that is our area, with an area of similar human made structure which represents the curve. Suppose consider the suburban area curve is commonly used curve. It is a commonly used curve because all the suburban areas in US or United States look alike. We can use this curve for all the suburban areas. So if our area is suburban area, then we can compare our area with suburban area and we can use that curve. So here we have the figure. So this is suburban area curve. Okay, here the path loss is 38.4 dB per decade. So these are the curves which represent some of suburban areas, urban areas, and Philadelphia, Newark, Tokyo, New York, free space, and open area. If we have some open area, this is the path loss. And if you have some suburban area, this is the path. So if our area is suburban area, then we can this path loss curve. Then That means we can know that in our area the path loss is 38.4 dB per decade by comparing our area with this suburban area, because we have already curves of different areas. We can compare our area of interest with that areas. Okay, so if our area is not suburban, but it is similar to the city of Nowak, then the curve of Nowak should be used. So if our area is not suburban area, then our area is similar to Nowak city area. Then we can compare our area with that Nowak area, and next we can know that our path loss is 43.1 dB. So just by comparing our area with that areas, we can know the path loss curves, path loss. Okay, so this is the method in order to find out the path loss curve of our areas. Okay, and next, if the human-made structures of a city are different from the cities listed in previous figure, so if our area is different from all the cities listed in this previous figure, that means our area is not matched to these curves, then we can simply go through by this process. Set up a transmitting antenna at the center of our area. Set up one transmitting antenna at the center of our area. Okay, then take 6 or 7 measured points. Take 6 or 7 measured points around the 1 mile intercept as well as 10 mile intercept on high spots and low spots. Okay, so that means at 1 mile intercept we can have some 6 or 7 spots. We can have some 6 or 7 spots. That means at 1 mile intercept, how many high spots are there, how many low spots are there, and at 10 mile intercept, how many high spots are there and how many low spots are there. So these data points we should know. Then compute the average of 1 mile data and 10 mile data. Compute the average of, that means if you see the figure, this is 1 mile intercept, this is 10 mile intercept, and at 1 mile intercept, these are the data points, high spots and low spots. At 10 mile intercept, these are the data points. And by taking the average of these points, we can have this point, and by taking average of these points, we can have some average. Okay, so at 1 mile intercept, this is the average point. At 10 mile intercept, this is the average point. That is the average of all those values. So then join 1 mile intercept with 10 mile intercept. Then we can have the path loss curve of our area. Then we can have some path loss curve of our area. So this is the method when our area is not matched to any one of all these area curves. So if the area is very hilly, then what we can do? So if the area is very hilly, then we can have some large high that means we can have some large values. That means in this case, if our area is hilly terrain, we may take more measured points. We may take more data points to obtain the path loss curve. So if normally hilly terrain means slope terrain. So if you take all the data, then convert that data by using this formula. You have to convert that data points to flat terrain contour by using this formula. So the conversion is based on this formula, that is G is equal to effective antenna gain is equal to 20 log He by H1. So this is the formula when we have some hilly terrain, and in the hilly terrain we can have some high points, that means more number of points. If you take all the points, then convert those points into flat terrain data by using this one. So here H1 is the actual height, H is effective height of the antenna. And next, third one is path loss phenomenon. So by the use of these data points, we can have some path loss curve. By the use of path loss curve, we can obtain the signal coverage at this area. Okay, and if our area is not matched to all these areas, then we can have these rules. By following these rules, we can also draw the path loss curve. And next, third one is path loss phenomenon. So path loss phenomena is nothing but path loss curve. How we can draw this curve? Means The plotted curves shown in this figure have different 1 mile intercepts at different points. So we know at every 1 mile intercept we are using data points. By the use of those data points, we can draw the path loss. Okay. So when the base station antenna is located in the city, then 1 mile intercept could be very low. If our antenna, our base station is in the city, means it is nearer to the buildings. Okay, and at this position, 1 mile intercept is very low. 1 mile intercept is very low, and the slope is flattened like this curve. Okay, like flattened out like Tokyo's curve in this. If our base station is in the city, and when the base station is located out of the city, that is like this. When the base station is out of the city, so because this is the city, and our base station is out of the city, that is far from the buildings, then 1 mile intercept is somewhat distant. Okay, then the intercept could be much higher, then the slope will be deep. So here we have slope like this. If our antenna is out of the city, and if our antenna is close to the city, then the slope is like this. Path loss curve is like this. So by the shape of this path loss curve, we can say that our base station is in the city or our base station is out of the city. So by finding all these data points, we can find out we can draw the path loss curve, and by the use of path loss curve, we can obtain the signal coverage at that particular area. So thank you.